When my children were young, there was one word I used again and again. I thought it made me sound responsible. I thought it made me sound loving. Today, that same word is the reason they barely know me. One word stole my children from me. That word was someday. If you've ever said that word to someone you love, stay with me. Someday feels safe. Someday feels noble. I'm doing this for my family, for our future. I believed that lie for 30 years. Now I'm retired. The house is quiet. The career is a box of plaques in the attic. My children have become polite strangers with my last name, and every time their names light up my phone, I feel the price I paid for that one word. Someday is the quietest thief of all. It doesn't kick down your door. It just walks beside you, and you let it take everything.
I was 38 when my son Michael was born. 2 years later, my daughter Sarah followed. I still remember holding Michael in that hospital room, the weight of him in my arms, the smell of baby powder, and something new, terrifying and beautiful: responsibility. In that moment, I wasn't just a man anymore. I was a father, and a father provides. That's what my own dad taught me. You build a fortress of security for your family, brick by brick. My bricks were long hours at an engineering firm, a good job, a corner office with a city view, a reliable car, the best health insurance money could buy. I was climbing the ladder, and every rung felt like another layer of safety for them. I convinced myself of something dangerous, that my absence was just another form of presence. My work was my love, just in a different shape. I'd get home late, the sky already bruised with dusk, my head still full of deadlines, project specs, client demands. Helen would be there, trying to manage dinner, bath time, the beautiful chaos of young children. I'd notice the drawings on the fridge, crayons, crooked stick figures, a colorful life I only knew secondhand. I'd kiss Helen, our shared exhaustion saying more than words ever could. "Long day?" she'd ask. "The usual," I'd reply. We both knew what that meant. Another day invested in the future, another day borrowed from the present. That's where the promise was born. On those tired evenings, standing in the doorway, listening to my children laugh from the next room. Someday I'll have more time. Someday, when I get that promotion. Someday, when this big project is finally over. Someday, when we've saved just a little more. Someday, I'd be there for the little things. Not just the man paying the bills, not just the shadow in the background. It sounded responsible. It sounded mature. It sounded loving. It was also the greatest lie I ever told myself.
At first, the thefts were small, almost unnoticeable. They were the pocket change of childhood. Moments so quick, so fragile, you don't understand their value until they're gone forever. Michael was 5, an architect of imaginary worlds. With nothing but sofa cushions and old blankets, he could turn our living room into a fortress. I'd walk in after work, my suit stiff, out of place in his soft, magical kingdom. He'd peek out from between the pillows, eyes wide,
voice full of excitement. "Dad, you're home! The dragon's coming! Get in the fort!" I can still see the hope on his face, the absolute belief that his dad, this man who could do anything, would of course join him in battle. And then I'd look at his fortress, then at my briefcase, heavy with the real-world dragons I'd been fighting all day. "Not tonight, buddy," I'd say softly. "I've got to finish a report. Big meeting tomorrow. But someday soon, we'll build the biggest fort ever." I'd ruffle his hair and disappear into my study. The door would close, and the sound of his quiet, lonely play would follow me down the hallway. A muffled accusation. I told myself it was fine. Kids are resilient, right? But a child's hope isn't infinite. Every time you say, "Not now," it dims, just a little. Then there was Sarah, 7 years old, her first school play. She was cast as a witch, and she took it very seriously. For weeks, our house echoed with one line: "Double, double, toil and trouble." She'd cackle, laughing at herself, making us laugh too. She told me about her green sash, her pointy hat, and she asked one simple thing: "Will you be in the front row, Daddy?" I wouldn't miss it for the world, I promised. The day of the play, a deadline moved, a crisis at work, an emergency conference call. It's always an emergency, isn't it? The world of work survives on manufactured urgency. I called Helen from my desk. "I'm so sorry. I'm stuck. I won't make it for the start." I arrived during the final bow, just in time. My little witch stood on stage, her face painted green, scanning the audience. Her eyes found mine for just a second, a flicker of disappointment. Then she smiled anyway, for the applause. That night, she hugged me tightly. "It's okay, Daddy. I saw you at the end." And she meant it. Children are masters of forgiveness. They forgive the moments you miss because they believe with all their heart you'll be there for the next one. They don't know about the quiet thief already picking your pocket. Someday, I told myself, I'll be in the front row next time, no matter what.
1 or 2 missed moments. That's just life. But soon, someday wasn't the exception anymore. It became the rule. It became the rhythm of our family, a constant, low hum of postponement. Weekends, which should have been hours, became extensions of the work week, just with better lighting. The kids' requests changed. They started softly, carefully. They learned to check my mood first, a quick look at my face, then at the laptop on the kitchen table. The kitchen table. That became my second office. I answered emails while they ate cereal, reviewed spreadsheets while they did homework. I was there, a warm body in a chair, but emotionally, I was 1,000 miles away, a ghost at my own family's table. Michael joined a soccer team at 9. I bought him the best cleats, drove him to every practice. On rainy Saturdays, I sat in the car, watching from a distance, my phone buzzing non-stop, ping after ping, emails tapping against the glass like a woodpecker. I called it multitasking, being efficient. I'd run out for the last 10 minutes, catch the end of the game, and on the drive home, I'd ask the only question I knew how to ask. Did you win? as if that was all that mattered. He'd shrug. We played okay. What he didn't say, what I can only hear now, did you see my pass? Did you see I almost scored? Did you see me look over to see if you were watching? I wasn't. I was closing a deal, solving a problem, building our future. Someday, I'd be that dad on the sidelines, the one with a thermos of hot chocolate, cheering until his voice was gone. That dad felt like a movie character, a luxury, one I couldn't afford, yet. The distance between us didn't grow with yelling or anger. It grew quietly, with silence, with sighs, in the quiet acceptance in my wife's eyes, in the way my children played more softly when I was home, as if my presence demanded library-level silence for the important work. They learned not to disturb me, and without realizing it, I taught them how to live without me. If you're still watching, you probably feel this guilt too. Stay with me, because the ending hurts the most.
Childhood is a cascade of one-time-only moments, and someday stole them from me, one by one, with cold precision. Birthdays became a showcase for my absence. For Sarah's 10th birthday, I was on a business trip. I sang happy birthday through a crackling hotel phone line. I ordered the biggest cake from the best bakery in town. Later, Helen sent me a picture. The candles had melted into small pools of colored wax. Her message said she waited as long as she could. I stared at that photo, at the uneaten cake, and felt a sharp, physical jab of regret. It was a warning shot from my own heart, and I ignored it. Bedtime stories became rare. Most nights, I came home long after they were asleep. I'd creep into their rooms, careful not to wake them, their faces peaceful, lit by moonlight. I saw the books on their nightstands, stories of dragons, of adventures I had no part in. I missed the whispered fears about monsters under the bed, the sleepy questions about how the world works, the simple ritual of tucking them in, feeling their small arms wrap around my neck. The best conversations, the ones where the heart really speaks, they happen in the quiet before sleep. I was never there to hear them. I missed Michael's first bike ride without training wheels. Helen told me on the phone, her voice bursting with pride. He was so brave. He just went for it. I was on a muted conference call. I smiled and gave a thumbs up. She couldn't see. I missed Sarah's first piano recital at 11. She practiced for months, clunky notes at first, echoing through the house, until one day they became music. I had it marked on my calendar in bold red letters, but a client flew in unexpectedly. A dinner meeting became unavoidable. I sat in a loud restaurant, nodding at quarterly projections, while my daughter played her heart out to an empty seat in the third row. Helen said she was wonderful. I told myself I'd hear her play 1,000 more times. Someday. I was the ghost in my own family photos, the provider, the financier, the man who made it all possible, but never the man who was just there. I was so busy building a life for them that I forgot to live it with them.
The years passed, the way they always do, relentlessly. The promotions came, the savings grew. The fortress of security was finally built, tall and strong. And then, one day, the work just stopped. I retired at 65. The endless river of emails dried up. The phone went quiet. That constant, gnawing urgency, the thing that defined my life for 3 decades, it just vanished. And I was left alone in the silence of the fortress I had built. The house is immaculate now. No more blanket forts, no more soccer cleats by the door. My children are grown. Michael is 30, an architect of all things. He's successful, but he's home for dinner with his wife every night. Sarah is 28, a second-grade teacher. She has 2 little ones of her own. They visit. We have polite, pleasant conversations. They tell me about their jobs, their lives, their kids. They are good people, kind people, and I am so proud of them. But there's a chasm between us, a huge, quiet space filled with unshared memories. We talk about the weather, about politics. We don't talk about the past, because for so much of their past, I wasn't really in it. They are strangers I have known their entire lives. Our connection feels biological, not built, not forged by shared experience. The reckoning came on a Tuesday. Michael stopped by to help me fix a leaky faucet. We were under the sink, side by side, a comfortable silence, just the clinking of tools. He fixed it in 10 minutes, his hands quick, sure. As we cleaned up, he looked at me, not with anger, but with a kind of sad curiosity. "You know, Dad," he said gently, "I finally get it. All those years, you were working for someday, for our future." He paused and looked around my quiet, spacious house. "I just hope it was worth it for you." I had no answer. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. He wasn't being cruel. He was just stating a fact that defined his entire childhood. In that moment, the lie I'd been telling myself for 30 years turned to dust. I hadn't built a fortress. I had built a wall between me and my wife, between me and my children, a wall made of good intentions. Each missed dinner was a brick, each skipped game another brick, each broken promise another row, all held together by the lie of someday. And I built it so high, so thick, that now, in the quiet of my retirement, I can't find a way over it. We talk about making time, or finding time, as if time is something we can manage, save, and spend. But that's an illusion. Time isn't a currency. It's the arena we live in, and it only moves in one direction. Someday is the most dangerous thief of all, because it doesn't steal your things, it steals your life, one moment at a time. It's a thief that promises to pay you back with interest in a future that's always just over the horizon. But that future never comes the way you think it will, because the moments it steals, a 5-year-old's invitation to play, a 7-year-old's stage fright, a teenager's silent struggle, those moments can't be replaced. They can't be bought back with a bigger house or a secure retirement. Once they're gone, they are gone forever. The irony is, I thought I was making a noble sacrifice, and I was. I sacrificed my children's childhood for my career. I sacrificed intimacy with my wife for the illusion of security. The tragedy is that I didn't realize what I was trading. I traded gold for dust. I thought I was building a legacy with my work, but the only legacy that truly matters is the one written in the hearts of the people you love. It's written in shared laughter, in comfort during tears, in the simple, profound act of just being present. My legacy, I fear, is a story of absence. So I'm asking you, right now, in the middle of the chaos of young kids and demanding careers, just stop for a moment and really look at your life. That crayon drawing taped crookedly on your wall, that's not just paper. It's a snapshot of a version of your child you will never see again. The noise of your children playing in the other room, that's not just noise. That's the soundtrack to a time you will never get back. When your child asks you to play, even for 5 minutes, what's your first instinct? In a minute. After this email. Someday? Don't let someday steal your family. The report can wait. The email can wait. Your career won't be there to hold your hand when you're old. The moments with your children are happening right now. They are precious. They are finite. Don't trade them for anything. Put down your phone. Close the laptop. Walk into the other room. Get on the floor. Build the fort. Fight the dragon. Just be there. Your future self, sitting in a quiet house filled with memories instead of regrets, will thank you for it. If this story hit you, subscribe. These are the truths we only admit when it's too late. I have a photo on my mantle from Sarah's wedding. I'm standing next to her, smiling. I look like a proud father, and I was. But there's another photo from that same day, a candid shot. I'm standing alone at the edge of the dance floor, watching her dance with her husband. And in that picture, I see the truth. A man on the outside, looking in. A spectator in a life he should have lived. I see all the somedays I collected, now worthless currency in the economy of a life already lived. I have the time now, all the time in the world, but the children who needed it are gone. In their place are adults I love, but don't fully know. I said someday, and someday never came. It was always today, and I missed it.